Hello, hello. Okay, so for some reason my main mic is not working. That's not a very good sign because it's my expensive good mic and it should have worked. All I did was unplug it. I'll have to investigate that after the show, which is kind of a shame. I was thinking about playing some music tonight. Might do it anyway. Apparently this mic here is not so bad. I think I'm live now. Okay, thank you. Oh, I wish I knew. It's a little distressing. I wouldn't want to think that this microphone crapped out on me. I treat it real well. Anyway, might as well get it off my desk. Because it does get in my way, but it's usually worth it for the sound. Oh, I know what happened. Okay, I just know. The other night when I did my show, I didn't use my good mic, and I rerouted which mic you would hear, and I turned off the... I mean, I could reconfigure it, and if I play some music, maybe I will. But let me get kind of settled in here a little bit. So, warm greetings and happy Thanksgiving to any who enjoy hearing the words Happy Thanksgiving. And yeah, my hair's a little slicked back. It's natural slick. So I don't have a drink to lift, but I do have some coffee. So I hope you're enjoying a time out in the national schedule. Oh, excellent, Oswald. Yeah, I've been playing around. I've been, recording some of my stuff, and I record it usually with a drum track. I have a little tiny drum machine. Hello, Enjoy Being. So yeah, I kind of record little, drum and guitar pieces because very often when I'm working on songs I'm going to be presenting to Uncle Butchie to do. So I introduce the song on the guitar. But Butch plays the banjo and I play the bass in the band. So I realize I have a lot of time of singing. The singing is always the hardest part. I am not a natural singer. So I have to put a lot of time into my singing. But I realized after I introduced these songs, like I introduced the Goop song, and then Butch was going to play the chords. I was going to play the bass, and I put the bass on. And I realized I had never sang the song and played the bass. I hadn't even written any bass parts. So introducing that song kind of let me know how to be more user friendly, at least for myself, and certainly for the experience of my bandmates to. Take some time out to play the instrument I'll be playing in the band rather than the instrument I usually end up writing my songs on, which is a guitar. And so I do have one piece. Unfortunately, when I did record it, apparently I had my recording setting, and there's like little millisecond hiccups in the recording. Nothing that I can't play to. The only thing is when it plays back, it's like I didn't make that mistake. Because I can hear it. It's digital. But I hear my mistakes as I make them. Which is one of the reasons why I occasionally do retakes. So I just thought, that's, tonight was just like, okay. Originally, Moose was going to do a stream tonight, but he moved it to next week. So I said, okay, it's Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving for me. It's it's another day. I'm Native American on both sides of my family, and no, I'm not going to carry any grudges and any there's none of that silliness. But the Thanksgiving in a retrospective is just like maybe we can just be thankful, and I don't know. Think about the future for the planet Earth, or for the Earth, in case you don't think it's a planet, and I have no bone to pick about that. whether I'm going to be making music on this planet or trying to fix some of the ills, or on this earth, or fix some of the ills, the same pleasures and iniquities are visited upon us regardless of the shape. So they offer common enjoyments and challenges to anybody living on the earth, regardless of the shape. And I like to focus on what we have in common, what we can enjoy in common, what we can find solutions for in common. And if the shape in the earth gets in the way of those conversations, then we don't. It's not really important. I mean, and you know, at least I can't figure out what logistical importance the shape of the earth plays as far as living on the earth and trying to enjoy oneself or overcome the obstacles that are part of the world. Currency Worship Day. And you know, I don't know that I'm going to play my guitar. And again, I might play my guitar. I might play my guitar and my bass. I might just play my bass. But my little Hughes and Kettner amp behind me has that really nice lighting. It's one of the things about, besides being really good amps. I just thought it was kind of a pleasant backdrop. And they don't make the amp behind me. I don't know when it went out, but I went to see, you know, sometimes I look at things I bought years ago and see what, how the pricing's moved. And they discontinued it, and I'm really glad I bought that amp. It's a 5-watt tube amp, and besides having a nice clean sound at a low volume, it also has an overdrive that's killer. It has a really, really cool overdrive on the amp. So it's a great little amp. And it actually comes in its own little carrying case. Yeah, good. Nice little amp. So how's everyone doing? I can see you enjoy being. I've been cranking up the music. Okay. Yeah, I figured I wasn't the fact that there's anybody here is pleasant. But again, I figure most people are with their families. But it's a little bit later in the evening, and they might be going, okay, I spent some time with the family. Maybe argued over politics. Maybe I can sneak away and see what's on the internet. It might be internet fix time, you know. And I do have, if I do play, I'll be playing through my cabinet with a 12-inch Weber speaker in it. Matter of fact, I like promoting Weber. And all I have to do is kind of come here and switch my tab for a second. Oh, that's right. I gotta get out of that window. So I put it into that window, and I'll just show you the speaker I will be playing through should I play my guitar. And it's that one, the Alnico Blue Dog. Alnico is a different kind of magnet than the more common ferrous, or sometimes called ceramic magnets. It's a much livelier sound. There's 3 different elements in an Alnico magnet, and they are aluminum, nickel, and cobalt, as opposed to a ferrous magnet, which is largely going through ferrous oxide, one element. So when you send the signal from your amp through the speaker to finally be heard, that you produced on your guitar, when it goes through a regular magnet, it's being reproduced in a way that iron will produce, an iron magnet will produce sound. Which is real, it's faithful, but it's faithful in one way. When it goes through an Alnico speaker, you got 3 different elements that are kind of each adding their own unique way of being magnetic. So when you send a signal through an Alnico speaker, sure, it comes out as one signal, but it's a blend. And it gives a very unique, beautiful, airy, clean, magical tone. And for me, a lot of the magic of the Alnico speaker comes from the fact that you're getting 3. This is my theory of what's going on there. 3 different ways of transducing the guitar signal. And each one, you know, again, if you could make a pure nickel magnet, again, they all reproduce, but there's a character, there's a flavor that gets lent by the metal. Matter of fact, there used to be electrostatic, but that's a completely different category. But when it comes to actual, magnets you can hold in your hand, rather than creating a magnet field with an electrostatic magnet, there's always, originally, most of the original speakers were Alnico, but it got a little bit more expensive. It does have cobalt in it, and but when they found the ferrous magnets are, I mean, like, this is $213 for an Alnico Blue Dog. I think the ceramic or iron equivalent of the same speaker is more like $100 or $112. And the reason there's such a price difference is that the material to make the magnet is actually more costly. I am an Alnico magnet person. But anyway, so there's Alnico magnets, there's ferrous or ceramic magnets, as they're called, but there's also a rare earth magnet. And that element, or at least the magnet, is called neodymium. I have two 8-inch space speakers in my main rig that are neodymium. One of the beauties of the neodymium magnets is, because they're rare earth, like the ones you have in your hard drive, they're exceedingly magnetic. So since it's the magnetic field that we're working with in a speaker, it only takes a small magnet to kind of do the work of an Alnico or a ferrous magnet. So consequently, you can make speakers weigh a lot less, because a good component, I mean, yeah, you do have that steel basket and all the components, but the magnet, I mean, the magnet on this Blue Dog is 40 ounces. I think the ceramic magnet is also a 40-ounce magnet. So, there you have, pounds of material, where with a neodymium magnet, very often, you're dealing, I don't know, I don't know the ratio, but I think it's at least a quarter of the weight to do the same amount of work. So you get a lighter speaker, but also, because this is neodymiums are rare earth magnets, there is still a to a trained ear or sensitive ear, you can hear a difference between how a ferrous speaker sounds, how an Alnico speaker sounds, and how a neodymium. And to my ears, a neodymium sounds almost like a blend of the very faithful and quick reproduction of a ferrous magnet, a cross between that and then the airy, magical qualities of the Alnico. And the neodymium, besides its low weight, seems to have some of the magic of the Alnico, with a lot of the kind of like real punch. Ferrous punches more. It should. It's an figure. It's iron is ruled by Mars, so it has a punch to it that Alnico doesn't. Alnico cuts, but it doesn't punch so much. So neodymium is a nice thing. Anyway, so that's my geekiness on magnets. And anyways, like I said, if I play my guitar, that's the speaker I'm using, the Alnico Blue Dog with a hemp cone. I'll go into the page just so I can kind of show the drop-down menu. So over here, this is the other thing about this thing. They have the power. You can select one speaker, and you can have 15, 30, 50, 75, or 100 watts. I picked the 100 watts because I happen to like clean speakers. I don't really like speaker distortion. If I want distortion, I'll overdrive my tubes or add a pedal. I like the speaker to reproduce what I'm creating with the electronics. So I like a really clean speaker. And cone style, you can paper or hemp. I got hemp. It's just incredible. It's classic Vox tone. It's chimey, but with the hemp, all the chime is there, but it doesn't have that. There's nothing brittle about it. Sometimes the chimey English Vox things can have a certain rigid or brittle type of tone to them. All right, so I'm going to get back into here so you can see my face, and I should be back on camera. So now all I have to do is go in here and so I can see the live dashboard. All right. Oh, Goblin Forest. I like that. There's something fun about goblins for me. Not that they're a fun bunch, but they're not quite as nasty as trolls. Unless, of course, it's the Great Goblin. Oh, did Peter Jackson do a horrible job with those Hobbit films? Oh my. Ugh. So just let me take a quick look here. Ah. Oh, participants. Okay. So anyway, so this could end up being a very short video for me. Actually, I've been cutting down on my videos a little bit. Monday, I just had had a night. There was no way I was gonna. Well, I laid down. My whole thing is if I woke up refreshed, I would do a show. And instead, I woke up at about 9:30, half an hour after I normally start my show. I took that as a sign that the rest that I feel that I might need, I did need. And also, last week I had lost my power as of 9 o'clock Thursday morning. I got it back on noon on Saturday. So I spent a lot of time hunkering down underneath some covers, staying warm, and a lot of I was horizontal for a lot of that 2 days. But Butch and my drummer Mark came over and brought me 2 5-gallon cans of kerosene and a kerosene heater, and so I got that Friday night around 6. So I got a chance to enjoy the whole night. And when I woke up early, I woke up and the electricity came on almost shortly after I was up. So, but it was a little rough, but it's over. That's what matters. And I called them to let them know I didn't have electricity. I had almost nothing on my phone. I called Butch, said I don't have electricity. We can't do rehearsal tonight because I think you might be seeing us anyway because you knew that I had no heat. And they showed up even earlier than normally for rehearsal, and they had supplies for me, and that was just such a gift. So my Thanksgiving was last Friday when they showed up with the kerosene. I mean, again, it's one thing to have a kerosene heater, but they out of their own pockets gave me 10 gallons of kerosene, and that's a little bit of an outlay. And speaking about outlays, there have been people. I do have my little PayPal. It's not a direct link. It's the email I use if somebody can or wishes to assist my current precarious. I have remedies that are being taken that will not make this an ongoing crisis. Because I'm solution oriented. I can't stand being in this position. But anyway, there's a little thing, and so for anybody who has PayPal, and PayPal is, again, is great. I've been using it for years, and you can move, you can take money from your bank account, put it on PayPal and send it, or in my case, very often after I receive it, I can put it in my bank account so I can access it to pay my bills. So I have my radagast@gmail.com, and that's the email one would use if someone wished or can assist in any way. But there have been people who have been quite kind and have assisted, and I just, in case you're watching or will watch this later, thank you very much. It's just it's been the past couple of years, when I kind of went on a little bit of an alternative way of doing life. But like I said, there's a few things that I realize I've been kind of saying I don't think I want to do that, but I got intel. I did some heavy meditation. I got some pretty clear instructions on what to do and why to do it. Hello, Madfinger and Trey. Hello, Trey. Thank you. And so. And then today, I belong to Global Mission to Peace. I'm the moderator and kind of the one who's held it all together. And if you don't know what that is, that's fine. Because if it is what I think it is, people will hear about it. But they're, I like to talk about things I've done rather than things I plan to do. I mean, occasionally I'll talk about what I plan to do, but hello, Wizard. But anyway, I was sharing some ideas because it got whittled down, and I was able to share some of the things I've shared on my live streams, and it was very interesting how the depth of a conversation it broke out. I have a cigarette here, and I'm ready to light, and it's like I don't know if it's almost like I don't want to sit in my own cigarette smoke, and that's not a bad thing at all. Yeah, one of the now I'm almost positive that the reason why people couldn't hear me at the very beginning is because I had not enabled my input device for my exterior microphone. So if I do play, I might plug in my real microphone because I think that makes things sound better. But who knows? I might give it a try on just this mic, because this mic has turned out to be, I mean, it's a Logitech mic, and I bought it years ago. I think it cost me $20, and it really, you know, it's not the greatest camera, but it's a decent camera, and the mic seems to really work well. Thomas, I think I said hello to you. If I didn't, yo. So it's been an interesting, I'm going to get a little holistic here for a second. It's been an interesting Dakini shift. I've been you know, working with the Shakti Cluster app, all kinds of ways. You know, John mentioned, you know, you got to experiment with it. There's you know, I'll give you certain things. They'll give you instructions, and boy, it's really something what one can do. And I also have it just set up against the my hand drum skin, so I can, even when I'm laying down, I can look over at it, and I'm starting to find some interaction even at that level. There is something very endearing about the confidence of Thomas Kerwin. Yeah, it looks pretty full out here. Oh, this morning at like 6 o'clock in the morning, I walk out on my front porch, which basically faces east. And I'm like, what is that light between the trees? Because I got, you know, I don't have direct, I mean, if I look straight up, I can see the sky. But if I look even at a little bit, you know, most of my view from my front porch, you know, I'm looking through branches of trees. Now that the leaves have fallen off of them. And I see this incredibly, I mean, like, you know when the moon is pretty white, that kind of light, but it was like, even, it was very silver. And I'm just like, I wasn't sure. I mean, I guess it was a planet, but it was bigger and brighter than I've ever seen a non-moon object in the sky. I mean, it was so bright, I thought it was the moon initially. I mean, it had that kind of like light in the sky. I mean, Venus usually is like a star, but this was like, I mean, I even had to make sure it didn't move. It was almost like you know, like a UFO kind of bright. And so I see it standing still, and so I come in and I open up Stellarium, which gives you, you know, and it's also configured to where I am, my latitude, my longitude. So when you look at it, it's the same sky I'm looking at. Everything is in the same position. And I'm looking, and it identifies it as Venus. And so I went back out with my binoculars, and the binoculars really didn't give anything. It was even brighter. It was better to see it naked eye. But it was the brightest, I mean, like headlight bright, you know. It was the brightest I'd ever seen a planet, and I really wanted to make a note of that. And also just me, it was just like, you know, I see Venus as the evening star or the morning star, depending on the time of year. It was incredible, and it was also kind of like right off of it was right off of, it was in Virgo, and she had, in one hand, I guess, is pointing down, looks like she has like some hops or some kind of sheaf of something, and the other one she has a taller thing. It was like right in the sheaf, Venus was. I think it might be a sheaf of wheat, if I recall. So, but Venus blew my mind this morning. Wait, hold on, I gotta, there I am. Okay. So I just wanted to share, I mean, really, I mean, it was like, is that a UFO? Is that a low-flying plane? Is that the moon? The first thing I thought, I thought the moon had already passed over, because the moon rises, you know, in the east, and it was just, this was 6 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, is that the moon? And I mean, I really couldn't take it as Venus. It was hard for me. I had to come in and see that it was a planet making that much light in the sky. So the other thing I figured, you know, as far as if I play any music, because again, I'm gobbling. I guess we know what gobbling is. Gobbling, by the way, is the sound a male turkey makes. And I was thinking about reading the animal medicine card for turkey medicine, which is giveaway. If I might spare, you know, I don't know if I'm sparing you by not reading it or denying you by not reading it. If you have any comments, put them in the chat. And even with regard to, you know, maybe playing a little bit. Only if you know, the people live. I mean, it might be people who are going to see this later and go, what, they didn't ask you to play? I would have loved you to play. So, who knows? But anyway, so the gobbling, okay, that's the sound a male turkey makes. And then cobbling, you know, putting together, like a shoemaker is a cobbler. And because it's not like I really had an idea for a show. Because the idea was, okay, it's Thanksgiving night. Most people, you know, have already done the turkey. When it comes to football fans, it doesn't matter what else is going on if there's a football game going on. Yeah. I had to stop I almost went into a little bit of a rant about sports, but I'm not going to do that. Because I can tell, I mean, you know, I read live chats. Sports is alive and well. In the minds of many people. The astrological weather, I don't know. I think Bitcoin is at a right angle to Ethereum. Or Ethereum is conjunct Uranus. I don't know. I don't pay attention to astrological weather. I pay attention to celestics, which is naked eye astronomy based on what you can actually see. Like, you know, if you see a planet and then what constellation it's in, that's where it is. It's not like laid out on on the clockwork. You know, originally, I mean, astronomy has its roots. The whole purpose of astronomy was for astrology. But the original astrology was based on naked eye, and you know, there is an actual, every night there's a real show going on, and it's a live show. It's not a show on paper. It's not a show on a graph. It's right there, because the show that we watch can be very different, or considerably different, than doing things on a circle. Hello, Mandarin Mystic. So so I don't follow the astrological way. There are people who are doing it. I try to stay out of that system of influence, because it is what it is. But astrology is so applicable. I mean, you know, the large mass of the populace is living unconscious lives. You know, with a rudimentary focus into the exterior that seems to be called consciousness or being conscious. But you know, majority of people are just stumbling around, and so what's going on at an astrological level is quite applicable. The influences of those planets is meant to create patterns. I mean, they create real torsion fields, but the effect that they'll have on consciousness depends a lot on whether one is operating at a higher level of consciousness, basically in some wisdom, or whether or not they're just kind of stumbling from meal to meal and entertainment to entertainment, which is a large portion of society. Just before I came here, I was watching, I guess, I'm subscribed to, and also I like to listen to the UnfuckErs, as they call themselves. Yeah, I guess it's Danny McKinney, and you know, she has a group. And Jerry Cthulhu's been on, I think he might be on more, but I've even heard him speak on more than one occasion. And you know, Danny's a bit of an egghead, a potty mouth, but an egghead. And I don't consider, you know, again, I will use the words fuck and shit at their proper places. I don't. I use them for kind of effects. If I think something is shitty, I want to call it shitty. If I want to put the emphasis that that the word fuck sometimes does, I want to use it. But overall, I like to minimize it, so that way when they are used, they have that edge that I'm looking for. Although Danny McKinney has gotten much better, somebody who for me is, I don't even understand what's behind the use of those words, is Sethicus Boza. I guess it's on Black Earth Productions or something. I mean, he's trying to he's trying to sound like have some gravitas, but his line, it's just like, I don't know. Like I said, I am no prude, nor am I anybody who even shies away from using whatever language I want to use. I just feel that it shouldn't be littered, and especially when it's not emphasis. It's more habit than a conscious use. Like, I'm going to put this word right here because it has that feel. I mean, there's a very gifted astrologer in our midst, and that would be Niche, Thomas. Niche is a very gifted astrologer. And she's on top of it. I mean, if you even mention something, she might say, oh, that kind of corresponds, with this angle, or what the... I mean, she's... If you want to know the astrological weather in our group, she's the person to ask for that. I'm looking. I'm here, so everything that I see on the screen is 10 or 15 seconds late, and it's kind of funny to be sitting here in one place and watching an old energy run across my face or through my body. It's kind of funny. I'm sitting here and I'm looking at my cigarette, and I wouldn't mind a little nicotine introduction to the bloodstream, but I don't feel like sitting in my room in that smoke. Yeah, I have to admit, one of the upsides for me since I've decided I no longer wish to participate in that destiny creation of, you have to, from a Gnostic perspective, all those planets out there, with the exception of the sun, moon, and the earth, are archontic consciousnesses. And so astrology is basically tracking what, are they playing good cop or bad cop right now? And I've noticed that since I've decided that they and their system can go fuck themselves, for me, that Mercury retrograde no longer does what it used to do in my life. And that's welcome, both at the personal level, because, there's that communication garble. And then, of course, all your equipments and stuff used to get kaflooey. But I can now see that apparently I was the agent of the energy creating, like electronic problems. And because once I took my energy out of that mix, kind of a conscious thanks but no thanks, I noticed that everything else kind of, responded. Once again, the observer, the creation. A lot of people, I think there's a lot of misunderstanding. It's a lot more dynamic, and including some complexity to it. But, if we have ourselves as the point of a consciousness creation, at least what we experience, and then there are these other energies that want access and have historically, that's a limiting perspective, by the way, have historically had access to us. I forget where I was going. It probably would have been a good idea to finish too, and I might even come back. Historically, I know I was talking about astrology and the influences. Again, it's a little bit, it's a Gnostic perspective, or a Telestic perspective. And Nemitta, I don't know how there's a few Telesti here. Nemitta is really shaping up. I go there, and the forum has started. Forums are what forums are. And I haven't checked it for at least 24 hours, but it got off to a fairly lively start. And it's the fact that there is a Nemitta website and what it represents for us planetary tantrikas. I think it's great. Oh, well, the current energetic flow is like all over the place, and it's what I find interesting. It's almost like there's almost like a competition in the flow. It's almost like there's McDonald's and there's health food, but nobody will be given anything that they don't want. So you kind of self-select whether or not you get the health food or McDonald's. With maybe occasionally, you order some health food and somebody slipped in a few McDonald's French fries. Oh, I would love pumpkin pie. Is probably my favorite pie, especially if it's spiced properly. I love pumpkin pie. Spice is delicious. But yeah, the current energetic flow. I mean, it seems that, there's one flow that's quite sane. not without its events, but sane, where even the events have a rhyme and a reason to them. And then there's another flow that just seems to be Invasion of the Body Snatchers type of energy. Because I'm tracking language. I'm tracking written language. I'm tracking spoken language. And I'm kind of hearing two streams. One has a clue, and the other one is anywhere from like very obviously clueless to running around with lots of clues that they can't put together. It's just, at one level it's disturbing because it's like, like that snap I felt months back. I mean, it's part of that. It's, the growing, I guess it's almost like this two species happening. And again, it's a form of self-selection. If you select yourself, then you get selected to be a part of what you selected into. And but it doesn't help if you're not even aware that's going on. So that's that's why there's a lot of sharing. I find no dearth of information, but there are places to look and there are places not to look for me. I kind of have at least that much personal gnosis. Oh, thank you for that hello, Pyramid 7. Thank you for the confirmation, Thomas. Because that was the first time I put words into that because you're asking me and I hadn't quite done it, and I realized as I was saying it that even as I was saying it, it was novel, if you understand what I mean. That it's like, oh, yeah. I mean, I hadn't looked at it. When I looked at it, that was what I got. And there is look, there's been a competition for the recognition. And well, yeah, because again, you could have a non-competitive system, then you have a competitor step into a system that is competing. Suddenly what was in competition turns into competition. So there's been a competition for the recognition of creator from the human species for some thousands of years now, and that's intensifying. The old narratives are dying, and a big part of where we give our energy is part of a narrative that most of us were raised in. And when you start to really question, really question the narrative, not go from the esoteric of religion to the esoteric of Western-based magical systems where they're steeped in the same system. But there's as well, from our perspective here as Telestai, we're in Sophia's awakening. And that awakening has had profound ramifications at the energetic level. And in many ways, you could say the ability to compete, if it was a competition. It's kind of like a Solomon moment. You have one baby, and you have two humans or two beings claiming that the baby is theirs. But there's only one real mother. And of course, the non-real mother was content to see the baby cut in half. The real mother was willing to give it up to preserve it. Ancient architecture. Oh, I like that. the competition, so to speak, is ramping up, but we'll feel it as a competition. It'll feel like this or this. It's really funny how today I'm especially noticing that just having, maybe it's because it's a little bit closed and I have a kerosene heater going, but my own cigarette smoke is just like, can you take that out? I'm saying to myself, can you take that outside? Which is fine with me. And I made up my first basically seasonal batch of I make a ginger tea. I slice up fresh organic ginger root, and then I put it in a 2-quart Pyrex pot I have, and bring it to a boil and let it simmer from anywhere. 20 minutes is sufficient. A lot of times I forget it simmers a little bit longer. And then I boiled off water. I have to have water and let it simmer so the flavor permeates in again. But I take that. I take half of it because boy, usually I'll get at least from the same batch of root cuttings, ginger root cuttings. I get minimally 2 good batches. Sometimes I can still pull the third. If I don't mix it with anything, the third batch will still work. But the first batch is ginger spicy. So I put 2 lemons into it, like into 2 quarts of liquid, and some honey to kind of get it there, and then I kind of add honey to each individual. Like right now, I have it in a jar, and so I'll put half of my ginger in there, my ginger, add in my honey, fill the rest with regular water, shake it up. I'm gonna be drinking out of a jar, of course, but so good. The lemon and the honey, and then that ginger kind of spicy bite. But the real reason I did it was because I was noticing, I don't know whether it's something I'm eating. I mean, I don't eat anything GMO. Last time I had stomach problems, I was eating some popcorn that I realized I took a good look and said, oh, this is GMO. And as soon as I stopped eating it, I was no longer nauseous all day. So I'm looking around and I said, no, shouldn't be it. So I don't know, but all I know is there's 2 ways for me to get rid of nausea. Well, it's 3 ways. One is peppermint or spearmint oil, because it anesthetizes the kind of reception from the vagus nerve in the stomach. So you can't feel what's making you nauseous. But it's relatively short-lived. Another remedy for nausea, as we all know, is THC in any form you can get it into you. But THC, it has its psychotropic properties that sometimes are most welcome, and other times are like, not now. Not now. Yeah, I'm nauseous, but and that I happen to have enough up here. It usually only takes 1 dose to alleviate at most 2. And but even in the modern day versions of things, even 1 very often is like, I wasn't in the mood for a nap, or maybe the nap is in there, but I wasn't in the mood for kind of floating around. I wanted to be unnauseous so I could get some work done. So for me, I see peach juice being put in there by Pyramid 7. I haven't tried that, but ginger, I mean, is a well-known, and ginger is great for relieving nausea. And so I made some up, and I can just sip at it, because I was noticing this, and who knows, maybe my stomach's changing. Usually I have no problem drinking coffee, but I've been noticing it's like at my second coffee, I'm starting to get a little nauseous. So I made up my ginger tea, lasts me a little bit, sip at it, tastes delicious, and handles nausea in moments. funny. I actually have a little bowling pin one-hitter somewhere in my drawer. Somebody gave it to me. I can't even imagine that I even know where that is anymore. I don't work, and right now I do work, but I just don't. It's not like having the full-time job I had, and it's just not. It's not wise for me to be using funds in frivolous ways, however pleasant or even therapeutic. And of course, I happen to live in a state currently that is a little bit. I'm in Virginia, and it's I don't even know. I mean, I come from New York, wasn't involved really in politics there. I'm even less involved in politics here. I'm here for the earth, the geography, setting. The fact that right now it seems like no matter where you go on the earth, it comes with some form of fucking government, which is always an annoyance of lesser or greater degree, depending on the way you conduct yourself, the way one conducts themselves. Yeah, I would say much of Virginia. I'm like in southwestern Virginia, going over towards Tennessee, actually underneath the state of West Virginia. West Virginia is an odd-shaped state, but their conflict is as far as a locale. Nah, not a whole. It's not bad like that. But the laws as they apply to certain parts of nature, obviously are state ones. But I don't think we're going to have to deal with that nonsense a whole lot longer. I just wish, I would, for a lot of us people who are not stoners by any sense of the word, the ability to use the backyard and the little garden patch during the good months of the year and just be left alone, like leave ones to their own business. Like, what are you growing there? None of your fucking business. It's my garden. I ain't growing bombs. I'm not growing poison. Actually, it came with the earth. Must be part of creation. Nope. But anyway, so like as I said, I'm going. I have. There's something I can sign up for, and I'm going to be signing up for it, and that will make, at least within the next 60 to 90 days, I would say my financial emergency will be handled. And even calling it I mean, I've managed to. It's been a few months now since my bills over tripled, and through being as responsible as I can and through the love and generosity of people in my life, I've managed to keep it together, and that's all I desire, is to be able to keep it together. And so again, thank you to all who have assisted, and if anybody gets it in their mind, the address I use at PayPal, so things can get my way, is there right at the top of when you go into the description. Yeah, I see. That's Pyramid 7 about, each card owner will be able to grow 6 plants. It's just like, and that's what I don't like about legalize. To me, legalizing marijuana is like legalizing an oak tree. Marijuana should be no more illegal than an oak tree is. It's nature. It's creation given to the created by the creator. That's not a point. You know, to me, in a being as that the irreligious, like let's take a country like America, the irreligious or unspiritual in a country like America are probably fine with its legalization. It seems to be the people who might be religious who oppose it, and part of it is because of the marketing that was done by the liars that run governments and calling a part of nature devil's weed. You know, I mean, I really feel that in many ways conservatives should, you know, just think about it. Making nature illegal and then incarcerating, taking away the freedom of somebody because they wish to partake of the nature that was given to them. You know, to me, that's something that I think the religious just need to get. It's like supporting the criminality of any part of nature is you being demonic, supporting demonic stuff. So I'm not really for legalization. I'm for the repealing of the Marijuana Tax Act, or it could also be called the Anslinger Act, which prohibited it. Because when they legalize it, it's like, oh, it's legal, but only 6 plants are legal. Then what is that? So then we all start seeing legal is not free. Legal is a definition. Legal is another cage. So although I would rather have legalization of nature than just returning nature to nature and nature's children, I still see it as like, you know, people should just say, no, repeal the act that made nature illegal in the first place. Fuck all this piecemeal stuff. Get to it, repeal it. If you're a law and order and against crime, get rid of criminal laws. But see, one of the reasons why prohibition didn't hold was because that was the people's drug of choice. So they were like, how dare you? When they did the Marijuana Tax Act, the average person wasn't there. So it wasn't like that they suddenly felt some great loss. And then, of course, the promotion was very racist. You know, it was like, you know, jazz musicians and Mexicans. You know, I mean, it was just like, you know, proper people. You know, only, you know, deplorables or some form of that make it. So, I mean, it was such a what a marketing campaign. Yeah, a license is another garbage scam for people to you know, it's like me. I let my New York State license expire for my because I'm not in New York anymore. So I let my massage license expire, and I haven't recertified here. I have almost 30 years in the field. I have more, and I'm also medically trained. I have medical massage training. I have, like I said, almost 30 years of experience. So just imagine, because I didn't pay a fee, all the skills that I've accumulated almost over 30 decades, suddenly I can't do massage because I don't have a license. So this is where we can see the absolute scam in the language. Did I lose my skills? Does somebody's been doing it for 3 decades, because they didn't make a payment, suddenly can't provide the care that they have provided for 30 decades, and actually increased over the decades, as opposed to somebody who just first came out of school, still has a lot of learning, they're quite capable, but then, you know, there's grades there. They have a license, they can practice, but somebody like myself, because I didn't pay a fee, suddenly cannot take care of people in a way that not everybody can. So now, you know, this is where the whole license thing is nothing more than a money grab. It's just like, hey, there's people making money out there. Well, God, how do we do nothing and get paid for them having the right to do what they paid a lot of money to have, just to have the skill to do? I mean, and I think part of it starts, because Max Egan gets in it, we as a population have to start, like part of family dinner. It's like, you know, all this license and, you know, again, it's one thing to have standards. It's another thing to have whole bodies of well-paid people who do nothing but look over your shoulder to see if you're following the letter of some kind of concept somebody put together. It's so sick. It is so mental. So, you know, again, there's like 2 handfuls of people here. I'm just going to get a feeler out there. Is anybody in the mood for me to make some live music here? Chances are I won't sing again. I don't. The main reason I wouldn't sing is I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to hurt you. But just let me know. Because I realize I'm starting to get into a rant. It's like, I want to have a little more fun with a, you know, I also stray away, you know, from, actually, I'll use it, holiday, which is short for holy day. But I don't have a lot, I know what they're trying to, you know, with holy, but something just tells me that it's not a coincidence. How holy is spelled. And I do know it's derivative of holly, because holly was sacred. But, I don't know. Kind of like one of the, when you kind of do, you know, holly was sacred to pagans, you know, Northern European pagans. So something that's sacred to pagans will then change into the word that's kind of synonymous with sacred, which is holy, into the desert religions. And then we, you know, in synonyms, we have one way of spelling the word whole with a W, which means wholesome, it's all there. And then we have the synonym without the W of whole, which means something's missing. So it's hard for me to get past the spelling of the word holy with an H and still thinking that it really means sacred. So that's why I'm content with calling this a holiday. In the past, before I had rethunk what holy means, I would have been, you know, it's like, no, there's nothing sacred about this day. But, I mean, for convenience, we can make holy and sacred mean the same, but again, I'm really scrubbing language. And, license, I like that, Madfinger. And the word holy is, I feel, has some conceptual holes. It seems to tie in with righteousness, and righteousness is, that's the illness. That's correction when it's very ill. Righteousness. That's when it's deviated. Doing the opposite of what it says it's doing. Okay, so Trey said, bring it. So, and I have good reason to want to listen to Trey. So I'm going to pour myself a little ginger so you don't have to see me drinking out of a bottle. And I'm going to try it with the mic as I have it. Give me a moment away from the camera as a tiny bit set up here. So rather than just get started and then find out that somehow it wasn't working, I'm gonna do 2 different sound checks. But first, let me open the file. Here we go. And I thought what I would do is start out playing my bass. One of the reasons why, oh, I just clicked on the wrong tab. But I'll fix that. I'll fix that. Come on. All right. So I'm going to play a little piece of music, and I want to know from you know, people out there if it's too loud, is it distorted? Because this is going to be my backing track, and I'm going to play live bass to this one. And one of the reasons I'm picking the song I'm playing, this is already recorded. It's in the key of A, and that little box behind me that does the drone, I had put it in A. And the next song that I'm thinking about playing will be in C minor, in which case I would move it to C. This way here the drone in the background is tuned to the guitar. But so I'm going to play this little piece. Let me see, get in here. So I'm going to play this a little piece of music and let me know if it sounds distorted, okay. All right. Okay, I'm going to wait for the feedback. Nobody, did anybody even hear the music I played? I was pretty sure it came out. Should it come out? Oh, maybe one side didn't. Wait, 1, 2, oh yeah, okay. Okay, well I realized it was only coming out of one side, now it'll sound even better. Okay, very good, thank you. So now I'm going to try out my bass. I just want to see how that comes through this mic. Because if I don't have to change my mic, I don't want to. And I mean, I have a really good kind of studio grade amp. I could do a direct in, but I'm trying to avoid all of that work. Oh, sounds like I need to tune up. Yes, this is my Ibanez bass. I think it's the SR600. Really good bass. It's really got good pickups. Oh yeah, a little flat here. That's because the room's real warm. The other night the room was cooler. Okay, so okay, so how's the bass coming through? First I want to see if it sounds good, and then I want to try. Then I'm going to do one last check for a balance. Okay, so the bass is good too. All right. So now I want to see how if I'm going to play together I'm going to do it very short just to make sure that the bass doesn't overpower the background or vice versa, because I can make those adjustments. So here's going to go just a little sample. I'm just going to pick it up where it was. was it. That was the sound test. Or bass is much quieter. That's what I thought. That should make a little difference. I'm going to try it again. Okay. I'm going to back off I turned up my bass. I'm going to turn, where are, desktop, oh, okay. All right. Okay, we're going to try, this is another sound test, because then I'm going to play the song in total. All right, so here I am. Oh, I keep on opening up, I keep on clicking on the wrong thing here. All right, so I'm just going to kind of pick it up from in here. So. Okay, let's see how that worked. Bring guitar down, maybe. How about this? How about this last time? I can bring the guitar down, not a problem. Close. Okay, so I know where to make the next adjustment. See how much that. Bass up more. Okay. Okay, I'm actually at a point now where I'm having trouble hearing it in my room, so I know I'm going to make one more little adjustment here. Please bear with me. Thought I had everything I needed right here, but I wasn't expecting to be doing any roadie work, but it happens. And I'm not feeling flustered, so plug that into there. Put an adapter on the XLR plug. Plug it into the mixer. And we're going to see. Now that doesn't seem real. Ah. Wow. Okay. Apparently that's not going to work. And I don't know why, but that's, Oh, yeah, my Triskelion, that's my little Hecate portal. Okay, huh? Can't imagine. I'm not even getting a signal into my... Okay, well, I guess I'm not going to be able to do one thing. I'll play it the best I can. I'll turn up my bass, and hopefully I can hear what I'm playing. Because right now, in the room, my bass is overpowering my signal. And if I can't hear what I'm playing to, I might mess up. Oh, I know what I need to do then. Turn up my volume in my room and turn it down in OBS. Yeah, that's the ticket. Okay, I'm going to do one more sound check before I think all is not going. Okay, back into there. And we're going to try another mix here. Oh shit. Alright. How's our balance now? Anybody? How did that sound? That last blend. Now inch both. I can't. Can I do that? No. I actually. Oh, none of my borders. Oh. Anyway, I'm getting all confused. It's good. All right. Thank you. Hi, Soul Traveler. So this is a song called Just Yesterday, and if I was just playing the guitar, I would subject you to my singing. But being as I'm still learning even learning the bass to it, I'll just play the bass. I think it's lively. It's a fun song. It used to have just a folk rhythm. I didn't change the tempo or the timing, and I just kind of strummed differently, and I ended up reconfiguring it. So now I'll just play it through for everybody, and see how that works for a cobbled together show. All right, so it begins. Okay. Anyway, so it is better with singing, but you might have heard me try to sing, but with the bass vibes, oh no, I'll screw up both of them. So, and I picked that again because I had my drone on A, although I didn't. Oh, thanks. Enjoy being. So, and that's what, that's one of the songs I had it pre-recorded, so I figured, I don't play my bass much online. I play, occasionally I play a guitar. So I have another little guitar sound, a little guitar song. This is my 60th anniversary American Special Telecaster edition. It's got a little decal in the back marking the 60th anniversary. I really love this guitar. So I've been working on my very first reggae song. And I have some words for like 2 verses. The chorus words are eluding me as far as a package. They're kind of dancing around in disjointed pieces. I have multiple ideas for how I might sing the bridge, but I have the parts. And I just would like to share the parts with you. And actually, let me just switch on my drum. Okay. So I'm going to put on the drum beat and play to it, and like I said, I'll croak out a little bit because the words I kind of wanted to write some words that had some depth but sounded like they're saying nothing. It's like to be me. 150, 60 pounds, stand about 6'3". Might have lost an inch or so. To tell you, I don't know. You don't know what it's like to be me. I don't know what it's like to be you. Don't know what it's like to be inside your shoes. I hope you're okay. That's what I want to say. That is what I want for you. let that rest for a minute. So, yeah, that's a song right now. The operating title is I Don't Know What It's Like to Be You. But like I said, you know, I was trying to find a little bit of profundity in what sounded like almost like nonsense lyrics. And to say, you know, it's really interesting. I mean, that the kind of verse riff seemed I kind of stumbled into, but the rest of the song just kind of seemed to fall into my hands, literally. And interestingly enough, I'm still kind of figuring out what goes, like, where there's 3 parts to it and where to kind of how to put them. And tonight, when I just played it, it came out a different way than I've played it, and I kind of like it. Or it certainly feels like it kind of helped do an arrangement that I wasn't sure of. And the chorus is the newest part I wrote. And it was interesting. I played it for a friend of mine. I thought I had a chorus. She says, kind of a weak chorus there, and then I realized that what I thought was a chorus really operated more like a bridge. So I waited until a chorus came to me, and it finally did. So how was the sound? Could you hear the drum and the guitar and whatever? And I do have one more song. It's a finger-picking song. The words are really eluding me because I'm trying to write a song about being a single man that hasn't died below the waist, wanting to go out and socialize with the other gender, but not wanting to make things complicated. And so I'm trying to contrive a song that's really about a male that sees a woman that certainly strikes their fancy, but all they want to do is dance. You know, it's almost like I don't want to pull down your pants. All I want to do is dance, type of thing. Not that I intend to put that kind of phrasing in the lyrics, but I do. I mean, I'll finish explaining it. I do have a, what do I have for it? Oh, I have the chorus, like the dance part, because it's about dancing with me. So I'll probably throw that in because it helps break up the monotony. It's a tricky song because even though the tempo, it took me a second to recall my tempo, whether it's 80 or 90 beats per minute. But it's a finger-picking song. So even though, the beats per minute seems low because it's playing a quarter note for every measure, it, as slow as it seems, it gets demanding. So happy birthday, Soul Traveler. So at least I tried to play the song last night in a private chat and I couldn't find the drum beat, and then I looked it up and found it. I just want to, okay, it seems to me it's probably at 90 beats per minute. No, that's right, that would have been too fast. Go back down to 80 and okay. So I'll turn on a drum in a minute. We got this guitar back. Warming up the, because the last song, although I did play it with my fingers, I was just kind of claw gripping it. Kind of, you know, I'll just show it for anybody who's really interested. Let's see. Okay. You know, it's kind of like a... I don't know if I can still do it like this, but it's kind of like a... Probably help if I get that chord right. There we go. I was just kind of doing something like... So it's kind of like a claw, where this next one's going to be like a rolling one, like... So it's kind of, you know, it's a little more involved. But anyway, so let's see what I can do with this. Oh, of course, that's completely the wrong beat. Okay. Let's see. All right. Is that too fast? Yeah, that's too fast. There we go. Dance, dance with me. All I wanna know is, will you dance with me? Dance, dance, dance with me. All I wanna know is, will you dance with me? All I wanna know is, will you dance with me? Dance, dance, dance with me. All I wanna know is, will you dance with me? Dance with me. All I wanna know is, will you dance with me? Dance, dance, dance with me. All I wanna know is, will you dance with me? Oh, will you dance? Oh, tell me now. Well, I guess that'll be that. So those are the 3 songs I am currently working on. One is really pretty much worked. It's about me getting the bass, but the other 2 still need more words. But I'm looking forward to getting them into Uncle Butchie and seeing what that sounds like. Let me tell you, enjoy being. When, you know, part of, like, you know, the planetary tantra practice, and you start hooking up with the different dakinis that are facets of the goddess, and you say, hey, give it to me. Oh man, watch what you wish for. But I love it, but It's like, you know, it's almost like having a wife. It's just like, are you just going to sit there watching YouTube all day? You're going to play a guitar. But they never feel like nags. It's just like, oh yeah, you gave me all this music, and I still need to unpack a lot of it. So yeah, good counsel. Thank you, Soul Traveler. And I know my voice is horrendous, but especially because it's you know, late at night and I didn't warm up, and warming up is important. Actually, I'm subscribed to Ken Tamplin's Vocal Academy. I don't watch it as much as I do. I end up watching Rick Beato more than I end up watching Ken Tamplin, and I really need more remedial work on my voice than I need on my playing. Well, you know something, I have a video up with the Goob song, and once I do a better version of it, I'm going to take that down and I'll put up a new one. And the new one might actually, I'm starting to work with how to put my tracks together. I do have Reaper, but it's currently frozen on my computer because I set my latency on my hardware too low, and now when I open it, it just freezes my whole computer. So I have to figure out a way to open Reaper without that happening. I'll figure it out at one point. But there's different ways, you know, of cobbling things together. I mean, I lived in the days before we had all of this, and so some of those skills I learned how to make things when you didn't have what we have today still work today. Just like what I did earlier, I recorded something on Audacity. So what you heard was a playback from Audacity while I played my bass live. And then the drum machine I have is the drum machine that's built into my Zoom bass pedal. Yeah, I know something. I did do an install, but unfortunately, when I uninstall Wizard, I don't know where the notes were, because when I uninstalled it, it left some stuff behind, and because I said, you know, don't completely wipe it because my license is involved in there too. So I asked them, you know, so I said don't wipe it, and when I reloaded it and opened it, it was still set on too low a latency. So if I could just figure out where that configuration setting page is, and change what the latency is on the recording time. But yeah, reinstall was the first thing I thought to do. But unfortunately, whatever information is keeping this latency setting that's free. Not only does it freeze Reaper, I have to shut down my computer to get out of Reaper. I mean, it's a bad freeze. And then if I can usually, before I completely freeze, I can go into my task manager, and sometimes I see, like, you know, CPU usage is at 99%. So that'll tend to spaz out one's computer. And meanwhile, Reaper is not a resource-heavy software. So again, I put it on the lowest latency, which was like, you know, 1.2 milliseconds. I shouldn't have been such a hog. 10 milliseconds is fine, and I had that and had no problem with it. Okay, thank you, Windsor. Because if I can get into that and just find a way of, you know, changing it, if it's not in some kind of code I can't read, then I might not even have to reinstall this one, because once I take that out, the computer's going to open up and not what to do, and maybe it has a default setting that'll open. But thank you for that. Thank you. Reaper Ini makes sense. Yeah, you know, so Reaper, the reason I got Reaper, Thomas, is because it was, first of all, once you put it on, even after they give you like 2 months to try it out, but even if you don't buy it, they'll keep on reminding you, you know, you should know whether you want to buy this or not, but they never disable it. So once you use Reaper, you have software for good. Now, for me, I did like it, and when I had $60 to buy the license, I bought the license. Because I feel, you know, again, if we want good things like Reaper for $60, if we have the money, we better cough it up, in my opinion. You know, that's just having some integrity and some honor. I mean, obvious, but to me, I recommend it because if you would like to record and you are like $60 would cripple you, You can learn a piece of software, and when its 2-month expiration time is up, it's not going to throw you out and become a useless piece of software with a bunch of stuff you might have created that unless you buy it, you can't get it. They don't do that to you. And that is such a human thing to do. To me, for me to do is, if I can when I was humanly possible to pay for the license, I did so. With pleasure. Yeah, right, Windsor. That's what I normally do with the INI file. I use WordPad for the editor. I mean, for me, I don't, the human species, for the most part, is guided by good creator sense within them, built in. Some people don't get it, but that's what that's why we live in communities. The ones who get it can give the knuckleheads a wink and go, no, this is not how to proceed. I mean, there's real dignity in trading with each other, because I mean, trade used to be based on skills. So if you didn't have anything to trade, it meant like, what were you doing during your formative years? Picking your nose and your ass and just picking a day which one got the attention? I mean, I don't know. Oh, Windsor, I don't know what. I don't know who you're saying. No problem to. I guess probably to Thomas, because I would hope everything seems to be going good here. So yeah, and I find, I mean, look, I know Pro Tools is the thing to go, but it's costly, and people who know Reaper well, I mean, they might find Pro Tools laid out in a way that's a little bit easier to use, but as far as what you can do with them, some people that I have respect for seem to feel that Reaper can do anything Pro Tools can do once you learn how to use the software. Oh, thank you, Windsor. It was great. As a matter of fact, you completely. I have a feeling that as long as I can access the Reaper INI, you just solved my problems. So thank you very much. Matter of fact, I'm just gonna, while I'm on camera, let's see if I can find that file and what it looks like. Yeah, it's not. See, that's the other thing with Reaper. It is, the GUI is not. Yeah, but you can do some pretty good customizations. I've changed colors and whatever. But no, it isn't as glitzy. That's kind of what it is. You're not getting the high level paint job with it. It says no items match my search. Did Reaper.ini. Let me try it again. Because I was going to find it, open it, and tell you right away, Windsor, whether or not I can even, look at it. And I have it loaded right now. I mean, I have Reaper loaded. I mean, it could. So I'll poke around and see if I can find, because one of the things when Reaper does load in, it puts something like, I have a 64-bit computer, so it loads some of it in that program files and some in my documents. I mean, it kind of scatters itself in a few different locations. And I don't know that I know all the locations, but at least now I know what file I'm trying to locate. And I just figured, I mean, I put it into the search, into the Microsoft search here, which should be able to find a file. So, but Microsoft not working right, right away. Oh, what a shock, huh? Not that at least I have Windows 7, and I will hold on to it until software nothing works with anymore, which is why I had to leave XP. I loved XP, but then when I got what did I get? Modern Drummer, And I got a few pieces of software that would run on nothing less than Windows 7, so I had to get Windows 7. And as soon as I got Windows 7, I turned off updates. Because first of all, all they want to do is find more ways. They're not interested in our security. They just, they just want to make sure that your system stays operating and they can keep on looking at what you're doing. So I had like a friend of mine who had Windows 7 and she got stuck with Windows 10. She got it off, got back to Windows 7, and it's the automatic update that does it. And I said, turn off updates. Oh, but I need to fix it. I said, they got nothing that you need. I use Zone Alarm. It's a free. Well, it has antivirus built into it now, and it's also the other thing that you need to do. And I've not really had any problems. And then you run malware bytes once in a while in case you pick something up. But when you're not going a lot of dicey places, you'd be surprised how few things you pick up. Do the search from the main C drive. Okay, thank you. Okay, so from the main C drive, there you go. All right, so I'm going to right click it and see what my options are. Okay, organize, search, format. Okay. See, when I type in Reaper any and then it's see more results. I mean, getting this resolved would be great for me. Okay, it's doing a search in computer. I wanted to direct it to the C drive, but it didn't give me that. At least in the way I did it, it didn't give me that option. I tried right-clicking it because a lot of times you get a sub-menu. One of the wildest programs I ever worked with was, I guess, Microsoft Excel, and there's like double left-clicking and double right-clicking that bring up even other menus. Wow, Microsoft Excel is a pretty amazing piece of software. And I'd done a Excel for Dummies, and man, talk about talk about learning how to use a piece of software. Those Dummies books were really good. Okay, I'm still looking. Let's see. I don't have Win 10. I have Windows 7. Okay, open up C drive and then look at the View tab on top. Got it, brother. Okay, I'm at C drive, and let me finish reading here. Okay. Opens and then look under the View tab at the top. I don't seem to have the view for some reason. I don't. Let me see. On the Organize, I don't have a View tab for some reason. And I know exactly what you mean. For some reason, I don't seem to have that in my drop-down menus. Up here. I'll get to it. I just thought I might be able. Might be like. I'm real. And again, Windsor, thank you for the guidance. Enormously useful. But yeah, I can't see. And I know normally from View, I don't seem to have a search option just for when I'm into the C drive, and I don't know why. And I have Organize and other stuff, but layout, maybe layout, menu bar. Oh, menu bar, maybe that's what I need. Oh yeah, I needed my menu bar. Thank you. Okay, now that I added my menu bar, I'm getting there. And so the next thing is, okay, let me read that. He said go to the gotta read it again. The view, and then look under the View. Okay, I've managed to get to there. View top. Oh, Looks like I found it. Let's see. Oh, yeah, I think I found it. And it's all kind of in, you know, and then all I have to do is find out where the latency is and I should be good to go. Oh, yeah, yeah, I just saw the word ASIO. Oh. Huh. Anyway, I should probably, I don't know, I feel bad. Here I am doing computer work and I got a show going on here. So, I did find it. Thank you. It's open and everything. Hey, BB Blog. Thanks for joining us. Yep, so I finally got the file open, and I can see where it says, you know, ASIO thing, but again, I've gone through things like this in the past, so I should be able to find where that, you know, it's a line of code. And the amount of attention that I need to give to it would not be proper during a show here. So anyway, I hope the music was, you know, well, people said it was pleasant enough, and I just, you know, it's a different change here. Once again, my guitar was coming through a Weber Blue Dog Alnico hemp cone speaker. Well, happy Thanksgiving to you as well, BB. Oh, thanks. Enjoy being. Yeah, my biggest concern, you know, always is not so much my playing, even if it's not flawless. I can usually stumble with some grace. It's just, you know, it's my singing, because I really want, what I do have written, I'd like to do, and then, you know, here it is. It's late at night. My voice isn't warmed up. I got to open. It's like, oh my. Yeah, you're right. Worst case, I could call them. And they also usually have pretty good, the forums are usually good, real good too. Okay, well, I thought this might be a short show, and here we are, coming right up on 2 hours. And so I hope it is my wish that you all had a really good day, this, you know, festive day, this Thanksgiving, and that, you know, connected with family or loved ones, or just had good meal, or maybe just the peace of a day of not working. So that is what I would like for you. And so that's it. Thank Thomas. Thank you for joining in and bringing your enthusiasm. And so that'll be it on this Thanksgiving night. I think I know I mentioned during my telestic transmission 2 weeks ago that I might take a week or two off. I did take off 1 week. Whether I take off another one, I don't know. I'm certainly not going to tell myself or anybody else that there'll be no show, because there might be a show. I mean, it's kind of like, at this point, it's not even a decision. It's like, okay, this is a window I normally have open for a show. Is there a show? Which is why tonight was called Gobbling and Cobbling Together, a Who Knows show. And that's what this was. A Who Knows show. And it turned out to be a little bit musical. I had a feeling it might be. And so Goddess bless you all, and instruct you, and join her in her dreaming, because it's our dreaming too. So anyway, that's it for a Mystic Brew and your host, Radagast, and I will say goodnight.